can you make $100,000 selling Squarespace templates? Now, usually I don't attack this subject from a six-figure make money online perspective, but I think going through this mental exercise, this possibility exercise, I think is useful, not just for selling Squarespace templates, but for any digital product. Being able to imagine what that would look like and what it would require, and knowing where you would need to focus, I think is a really good starting point. So while most designers who decide to sell Squarespace templates, probably won't hit that goal, some will, and it will be because there's both a desire and a belief, but also there's a commitment to seeing it through, and a reason for that commitment. And when I say seeing it through, I mean like a long-term commitment. So what would this look like? Well, if you break down 100K to a daily sales goal, it would be $274 a day, right? I like to just chunk it down to something reasonable, something manageable, right? The average Squarespace template sells for around that, maybe a little less. But you can imagine, all right, you would need to sell a template a day in order to hit that goal. And so if a template a day seems like something that motivates you to like, yeah, I want to hit that sales target, and you can, go through maybe a period where you're only selling one a month for a couple months, and then it's 2 or 3 a month, and then it's, one a week, and then it's one every other day, right? Till you get to that one template a day. So that's one scenario, right? Another scenario, let's say hypothetically that you have a template library and you're giving designers access to that library so that they can use any of your templates with their clients for $100 a month. Well, in that case, you would only need 83 members to hit your 100K goal. And so now, if you give yourself a year, right, you've got to get 83 members in a year, right? So that's one member every few days. If that's something that seems possible, right, something that you can say, all right, I might only get, a couple members the first month, but if I keep going consistently, I'll be able to build up my membership to hit that goal, right? So in both of these scenarios, I think it's important to factor in some kind of a runway, right? You're not just going to open up shop tomorrow and boom, right? There's got to be some kind of a ramp up. So where to focus? I like to start with the problem that you're solving with your templates. I think this is incredibly important because if there's no underlying problem that you're solving, then you're more likely to run out of steam. You're less likely to have a deeper connection with your audience. And it's more difficult to build a sustainable business if you're not solving real tangible problems. And so the good news is there are a ton of problems that could be solved with your templates. It could be an aesthetic problem. Maybe your aesthetic is really expensive to get, right? Maybe someone has to pay you one-on-one. And so it's as simple as having a template available where now your aesthetic is in a more affordable form. Or maybe it's a niche specific problem, right? Maybe there's a particular niche that does not have great template representation out there. And remember, you can stack problems. You can ultimately build a suite of products and templates that solve different problems. You can always expand, right? But if you start with a core problem that you're solving, then it's going to give you something to expand from, and you'll always be in alignment with that particular flow. Maximizing value. So in the first scenario that we painted, we said, if we can sell a template a day, then we'll hit our goal. But if we maximize our value and we think not just about a suite of templates, but also, offering more on top of that, right? So maybe there's a customized version of the template where you customize it for them in a quick turnaround, right? Maybe someone buys a template and they're like, you know what, this is great, but I do not have the time to sit down and set this up. I'm willing to pay whatever to have you do it, right? So you can offer upsells to your templates, which will increase the potential value. But then you can also go horizontally as well, where you're offering complementary products, right? So if someone is buying a website template, maybe they need email templates to go with it, or maybe they need a sales copy template, or maybe they need like disclaimer templates for like the terms and conditions and that kind of thing, right? There's a whole world of needs out there. And if you can expand horizontally, well, now someone can fill their cart with, well, now I don't just want a template. Maybe I want the whole bundle, right? Maybe you've got a particular, theme or whatever, and you've got multiple offerings for that, right? So now you maximize your value, and now maybe one sale, the average cart, instead of it being $274, now maybe it's $550, right? And so now you don't need a cart a day anymore. Now you only need a cart every other day, right? Because you've maximized the value of that cart. So maybe I should put maximizing cart value specifically. All right, moving on. Now here's where we get into really the marketing, and the product development and expansion is a part of the marketing. I have this note here: response cycle. Because you're solving problems, you're gonna have customers who are gonna come with requests, and they're gonna come with problems, and you're gonna have reasons to create more templates, reasons to create more products. And I call that the response cycle. And that's a form of marketing in and of itself, because it's coming from folks who've already purchased your products. And so now how and where are people finding templates? Your first, once you got something to sell, even before you have something to sell, you want to get in front of buyers, people who are already looking, and then work your way down the line to people who might not be looking immediately, but will be looking eventually, or might be perked up to look, right? So starting with, where people are looking right now, where people are showing up to buy right now, and then working your way systematically up the ladder, down the ladder, however you want to approach it. Now, I know this thing says where to focus, and I'm about to hit this thing, and it's going to expand. Don't focus on all of it at once. I want you to go through systematically and stack and layer it. So, boom. Number one, email list. Before you even start selling your templates, put together an interest list, right? People who might be interested in buying your templates. You can use ConvertKit for that. Put a link below the video. ConvertKit is great for quickly setting up a landing page and collecting some emails. I've done it a ton of times. And then marketplaces, right? So marketplaces sometimes get a lot of flack because, well, they take their cut, but they also offer you immediate buyers, right? So there's a couple of marketplaces right now that you can buy and sell Squarespace templates. And I've got a video on that you can check out as well. Directories. There's another source. Google, right? So search for your particular kind of Squarespace templates, and the first 5 or 6 results that come up, get in touch with those site owners and see if they can post a link to your templates. Pinterest, this is a great visual search engine, and a great source to find, new designs and ideas and so on and so forth. Ads. Ads are ads. Affiliates, right? Once you've got some sales going, affiliates are a great way to amplify that, because you're incentivizing your customers who would already want to share your stuff to share it and make some money at the same time. Instagram, and really what I mean by Instagram is all of your branded social media channels or assets. And I put that at the bottom of the list. I don't know, because I do know because as you build your brand awareness, now people can come to your brand or be subscribed to your brand because they want to know what you're going to drop next, right? So at the top of the list, we don't yet have that. We're still building that, so we want to go into places where people are already, where the traffic is already flowing, and then we want to bring that traffic to our own channels, and then obviously to your site. Now, this isn't all inclusive, but this is a great starting place. And you obviously don't need to be involved in all of these different channels, but if you start with one, right, and put a little system in place to be able to return to that channel or be able to, nurture it regularly. So, for example, if it's a marketplace, right, every time you drop a new product, you just want to have that little system in place to be able to update your listings and feel comfortable with that. Maybe you decide to focus on Pinterest. Well, there are apps and people who specialize in keeping your Pinterest flow going really well. That's something that you can just specialize in. The things that I focused on early on were Google, and I became a directory. So that's kind of like a roadmap, right? And all of this is, remember, what is our first goal here? $274 a day, right? So if we maximize our cart value, we can exceed that 274. If we're solving a real problem, it's going to give us a reason to keep going, a reason to create more, a reason to not stop. And if we go where people are already looking and we deliver, then we've got a good shot of hitting this 100K. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your success down the road when it happens. Keep me posted. Peace.